Hi, welcome back. In the last few videos, we looked at how PostCode works out of the box, PostCode Web Agent, and then how to bring rules and workflows to make it work your way. We saw how PostCode can use test planner workflow to automatically create test plans, and then how the test generator workflow can be used to turn it into a real playwright automation. So far, we have seen how PostCode can plan and generate automation on its own using these workflows and rules which we have defined. Now in this video, what we will do is we will use the test healer workflow and see how we can use it to heal those tests when something breaks. So here is the thing. Postcode already thinks in a context engineering way. It listens to what you ask, understand your intent, and build tasks around that. We have seen that actually. So at the top right side, we will see all the tasks and everything. But when we start defining rules and workflows, something changes. We move from generic reasoning to a governed intelligence. Rules tells postcode how we want things to be done, our standard, our patterns, our style, and workflows tell it like what order to do them in. Kind of like a guided checklist for repetitive or important tasks. Together, they turn postcode from a helpful assistant to a governed agent that works exactly the way your team does. That's the sense of context engineering. You're teaching the system to think within your boundaries. All right, let's get hands on. In the last video, our generated playwright tests were fine. And before recording this video, I made some changes, and now, like five failure tests, five fails. All the tests are failing, basically. And now I will trigger test healer, which is one of our workflow, which will identify the issues and try to fix it. So to access the workflow, we have to type the name with the slash command. And now we have the context in our terminal where I have run the test. And so we just have to specify at the rate terminal. So here you can see another feature of postcode. Like you can specify all these things directly with an at the rate command. Let's give it a try. So here you can see that how it is created all these tasks. So postcode, based on your workflow, picks up failed test reports, analyze the playwright trace, whatever you have specified it to do, and identify the broken test selectors. Since it's running under the Python playwright testing guideline rule, it already knows our locator preferences, like what I have mentioned in our rules, like use the best practices for locator strategy, like get by role or get by label at the top. It proposes a fix that matches those standards, right? And now you can see the tests are passing again. So it has fixed the thing. Now, what makes this important isn't the healing part, right? Um, it's the traceability and the control. Every action, whether creating a test plan, generating code, or healing a test, happens inside the boundaries you have defined. That is the main thing. If a rule enforce PEP 8, or um, or if you want all locators to be role based, or if your workflows requires human confirmation before merging, postcode follows all of it. This happens even when multiple people uses postcode in the same repo. Everyone's output stays consistent. So as you can see, our task is completed. All our tests are running fine. So some real world examples I can give you over here before stopping this particular demo. Let's say you are a developer. Um, you could have rules like front end React guidelines for component patterns and styling rules. Another one can be like API client standard or something like that to define how API calls should be structured. There can be rule for error handling, and if you are a tester, you can have like what we had Python playwright testing guidelines, so test data handling, how test inputs are managed. Even the product or the business team can create rules like say feature acceptance criteria, or compliance review checklist, or similar things. Anything that defines how your team thinks and works can be turned into a rule. And similarly, workflows can be represented your operational flow, like what we are seeing over here. New feature implementation can be a workflow: plan, code, test, review, um, release preparation, change log, tagging, summary, notify. Postcode can handle all of these. So now we have seen complete journey. We created a rule to define our project standard. We use workflows to make our work repeatable and intelligent. We planned, generated, and healed automation all within the same context. That's the power of postcode. It brings context engineering into your everyday workspace. If you can describe your process, you can turn it into a rule or a workflow and make postcode part of your system of records, right? And thank you for following through this series. I hope it helped you to see not just what postcode can do, but how shape it to work the way you think. See you in the next one. Thank you.